Derek spent about 4 weeks in the hospital and then went to a hotel because the second floor condo wasn't handicap accessible. He's actually had to move into a new ground floor condo just down the street in Lake Orion. He's been there since March 26th. At home, he still requires 24/7 care, which his family is providing. Derek's extremely grateful for all the support he's received from family, friends, and strangers. He said, quote, "I wouldn't have been able to get this far without it, that's for sure." Well, it appears the Lone Ranger may ride again in Oxford with both an event and parade bearing the fictional masked man's moniker. Last week, the Community Events Committee decided to rename Celebrate Oxford, scheduled for Saturday, August 3rd, as either Celebrate the Lone Ranger or Celebrate Lone Ranger. However, whether the community can legally use one of these two names remains to be seen. That's because the Lone Ranger is a registered trademark held by the New York City-based Classic Media, LLC. Oxford Village Attorney Bob Davis is still attempting to contact Classic Media's attorney, who he said, quote, has the authority to waive any trademark issues. During its March 26 meeting, some village council members spoke in support of a name change that involved the use of the Lone Ranger name. Council also voted 4-0 to authorize filing an application with the Michigan Department of Transportation to conduct a Lone Ranger-themed parade along M24 on Saturday, August 3rd, beginning at 11 a.m. The parade would begin at the Oxford Marketplace Shopping Center and end at Church Street by the fire station. The name change and parade are both designed to help Oxford take full advantage of all the publicity surrounding the July 3rd release of the new $250 million Disney movie, starring Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp, about the Lone Ranger's adventures battling villains in the Old West. Brace Beamer, who was the voice of the masked man on the radio from 1941 to 1954, lived right on West Drainer Road in Oxford until his death in 1965. Beamer performed in more than 2,000 broadcasts, reaching more than 80 million listeners across the United States on 129 radio stations. Oxford resident Rod Charles, who's chairman of the local Lone Ranger Committee, noted how Mount Carmel, Illinois used to hold an annual Lone Ranger Festival to celebrate the fact that it's the birthplace of Brace Beamer. The town chose to celebrate Mr. Beamer, Rod told the council. Logically, a festival should be held in Oxford because this is where he chose to live, but we've never really taken the initiative to do that, he said. In addition to the parade, the committee that Charles is heading is also working diligently to get some type of event going at the Oxford 7 Theater, such as a big Hollywood-style premiere or a pre-July 3rd sneak peek to celebrate the new movie. Oxford's new charter school hasn't even opened its doors yet, and it's already changed its name because an educational institution on the East Coast asked it to do so. Deerfield Academy will now be known as Deer Trail Academy, following a March 26 vote of the charter school's 5-member Board of Education. According to Dr. Janet McPeak, president of Crossroads for Youth, the charter school's sponsor and host, they were contacted via email March 13th by a representative from Deerfield Academy, which is located in Deerfield, Massachusetts. The email request asked the charter school to please pick a new name. The Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts holds a trademark on that name. Founded in 1797, the Deerfield Academy on the East Coast is an independent 4-year college preparatory school with a target enrollment of 630 students and a 280-acre campus. With tuition that ranges from $15,780 to $47,500 annually, many of its students go on to Ivy League schools. Well, right away we told them we'd change the name, McPeak said. Somebody wants us to change the name, we're going to change the name. That's not a big deal. On March 14th, the representative was informed via email that CS Partners, the Brighton-based education service provider for the charter school, that they would be choosing a new name. McPeak said it was all very cordial and the matter was completely handled in less than 24 hours. The charter school was contacted by the Massachusetts school as a result of the March 13th Oxford Leader article regarding the swearing in of the new Board of Education. McPeak made it clear that the Massachusetts school did not apply any legal pressure whatsoever. There was no threat of a lawsuit, nothing quite that exciting, she said. They were very nice about it. On the bright side, McPeak noted the charter school hasn't yet spent any money on signage or marketing materials bearing the Deerfield Academy name, so no funds were wasted. Deer Trail Academy will open in the fall and serve students placed there by the court system, county juvenile agency, or the Department of Human Services. The charter school will also enroll students who have been expelled or on long-term expulsion or suspension from other schools, and special education students who will be best served by this type of institution. Crossroads for Youth will house the charter school on its campuses in Oxford and in southern Oakland. We'll be back right after this. Oxford and Lake Orion officials created 4 new government committees last week as the village councils met for the second time in an effort to explore new ways to cooperate and save tax dollars. Most of the hour-long discussion revolved around settling organizational issues associated with the establishment of committees to examine the areas of administration/events, police services, dispatch services, and public works, then make recommendations to the councils. Each of these committees will consist of 1 or 2 council members from both Lake Orion and Oxford, as well as the paid administrators who oversee these services. Fire and police chiefs, the heads of public works and township parks and recreation departments, and the directors of the downtown development authorities will be included. All of these meetings will be open to the public. Oxford Village Attorney Dob Davis suggested both communities could potentially save money right away by working together to negotiate a new trash hauling contract with their mutual service provider, the Sterling Heights-based Rizzo Environmental Services. Since 2001, Davis has represented the 12 cities in southern Oakland County that make up the Southeastern Oakland County Resource Recovery Authority, or SOCRA, a municipal corporation that handles waste and recycling. Cooperating through SOCRA has enabled some of these cities to reduce their trash collection costs by as much as 22% over the last 5 years, Davis told the councils. Well, it seems that not even brakes can slow down Oxford High School's Agile Auto students. Last week, 26 future mechanics participated in the automotive program's annual brake competition. Two-person teams went head-to-head to see who could completely disassemble and reassemble a drum brake assembly on two different vehicles in the least amount of time. A total of 6 vehicles were used. All of the work had to be done as quickly and as accurately as possible. Errors in craftsmanship can disqualify a team's time. Teams could be timed as many times as they wished during the hour-and-a-half competition. Earning first place in this year's competition were James McCormick and John Boyle. They won with a combined time of 4 minutes, 34 seconds. Chad Simmers and Gordon Densler finished in second place with a combined time of 8 minutes, 56 seconds. And in third place with a combined time of 10 minutes, 14 seconds were Noah Walsh and Shane Treppa. These 6 students earned a whole array of prizes, ranging from a $100 U.S. savings bond to a wide variety of brand new tools. Sponsors included the Rotary Club of Oxford, Steve's Oxford Automotive, Oxford Bank, Wright Tool, and the Oxford McDonald's Restaurant. Automotive teacher Dan Balsley started the competition many years ago as a fun motivational tool to encourage students to learn the ins and outs of brakes, which can often be quite difficult and messy work. Well, it seems that Oxford High School is now searching for not one, but 2 new head coaches for their varsity sports. Last week, Paul Marfia, head coach of the boys' varsity basketball team, resigned. He joined Brandon Rank, head coach of the varsity wrestling team, who resigned the week before. Both Marfia and Oxford athletic director Mike Watson indicated it was a mutual decision and that the basketball program would be taking a different direction. Marfia was hired as coach in May 2009. Unlike Rank, who will return to be an assistant wrestling coach, Marfia will not continue to be part of the basketball program. This past season, the boys' basketball team had a record of 10-11 and finished second in the league. The year before, the team had a record of 14-7 and again finished second in the league. Last year's 14 wins was the most wins in a season since 1949, and the last time the team had 24 wins in 2 seasons was 1976 through 77, according to Marfia. Well, the Oxford Village Council has made it possible for restaurants to finally have outdoor seating along downtown's busy Main Street. Council last week voted 4-0 to eliminate zoning ordinance language that prohibited having outdoor seating less than 18 feet away from the closest travel lane along Washington Street, or as it's otherwise known, M24. The problem is no property owner can meet this 18-foot setback rule, so anyone who wanted a cafe would have to obtain a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals, according to Village Manager Joe Young. Restaurants wishing to establish an outdoor seating area along Washington Street still have to meet the village's other requirement that a sidewalk with a minimum width of 5 feet be maintained along the curb. Village Manager Chris Corey of the Northville-based McKenna Associates felt having 2 setback rules was redundant, so he recommended eliminating the 18-foot one. In addition to gaining village approval for an outdoor seating area, restaurants wishing to have one along M24 must also get an okay from the Michigan Department of Transportation. MDOT charges a permit fee of $90 for the first year and $45 for each year after that. Property owners must submit a copy of the insurance certificate and a sketch of the cafe, which includes tables, chairs, and any railing or fencing to be erected around the seating area. The state also dictates that no advertising is allowed on the cafe area or in it. Well, more than 200 Oxford High School students recently signed a pledge poster promising they won't send or read text messages while driving. The pledge is part of Wait to Text, a community awareness campaign to encourage drivers not to text when they're behind the wheel. The Oxford-based Curtis Insurance Agency partnered with the OHS chapter of Students Against Destructive Decisions, or SAD, to launch the campaign. Greg Clay, owner of the Curtis Insurance Agency, noted how a motorist traveling at 55 miles per hour who takes their eyes off the road for just 5 seconds is basically driving the length of a football field without looking. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, drivers who text are 6 times more likely to cause an accident than drivers who are intoxicated. The agency also reports that while texting, a driver's steering capability goes down by 91%, and the risk of having an accident increases by nearly 25%. The federal agency estimates that of all drivers under the age of 20 who were involved in fatal crashes, 16% were distracted. More than 5,000 people die annually as a result of being distracted while driving. Clay noted there was a wrecked vehicle provided by Buckhorn Towing in Lake Orion on display at OHS to show students the potential consequences of distracted driving. To help raise awareness about the dangers of texting and driving, Curtis Insurance and SAD showed students a video during their lunch hour and invited them to sign the Wait to Text pledge. SAD also handed out red thumb bands bearing the Wait to Text message provided by Curtis Insurance, which is located at 25 North Washington Street. These bands serve as a visual reminder to not text while driving. Texting and driving has been illegal in Michigan since July 2010. It's a violation of state law to read, type, or send a text message or email via any wireless communication device while behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. Those who break this law are subject to a $100 fine for a first offense and a $200 fine for each subsequent violation. Well, between flowers, limos, and decorations, even the most prepared brides have trouble thinking of every last detail for the big day. But luckily, Oxford Community Television is there to bring everything brides need to one place and show it can all be found locally. OCTV will host a bridal expo on Saturday, April 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monique Mascom, OCTV's bridal expo coordinator, said the inspiration behind the event was to provide a small, done-right expo instead of a more expensive events held in places like Novi. We'll continue with this story right after this. Returning now to the story regarding the OCTV Bridal Expo. In addition to walking through the expo for free, brides will automatically be entered in a giveaway to win a wedding video worth $1,500. Mark Young, owner of Mark A. Young Jewelers in downtown Oxford, is co-sponsoring the event, and he agrees the expo will highlight businesses some Oxford residents may not be aware of. A&A Flowers will show fresh and rental arrangements to appeal to any budget range, because, as Maxim explained, more and more brides now choose more other decorations to customize their flowers and centerpieces. The expo will even highlight opportunities for bachelor and bachelorette parties. Merge Art Studio will have information on their painting parties, where groups can come for a relaxing night out together and bring home their own artwork. If any brides are still looking for their hair and makeup looks, Downtown Salon stylists will be doing consultations and styling on site during the April 20th Expo. Other vendors who will be at the Expo include Oakwood Wedding Chapel, who will have information about their venue as well as invitations, and Glorious Designs, who will have the latest in bridal and bridal party wear. Gen X Limo, local DJs, and photo booth rentals will also be featured. Oxford Community Television's Bridal Expo will be held in their station at 1775 North Lapeer Road, Suite C. For more information, please contact OCTV at 248-628-9658 or visit www.occtv.org. Well, and finally, I'd like to wrap up this week with my commentary, which is my week column that appears almost every week on page 6 of the Oxford Leader. Blah, blah, blah. That's what most of the March 26 meeting between the Oxford and Lake Orion councils sounded like to me. Glad to be here tonight. Blah, blah, blah. We all thought that the last meeting was a very healthy discussion. Blah, blah, blah. The first step in the right direction. Blah, blah, blah. We seem to be moving right along. Blah, blah, blah. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for local governments working together to look for ways to cooperate and save taxpayers some money. Unnecessary layers of government, i.e. villages, endless redundancies, and the desire to protect fiefdoms are some of the chief reasons taxpayers are overburdened. But frankly, I just don't believe these joint meetings between the two village councils are going to produce any significant savings. Why, you may ask? Well, I don't see either council seriously considering having the Oakland County Sheriff's Department take over police and dispatch services. No meaningful, genuine dialogue about saving tax money can occur without that option on the table for all to rationally discuss and explore in an in-depth manner. Contracting with the Sheriff's Department has the potential to save each community hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. If these two councils cannot produce an alternative to the sheriff's option that can save just as much, if not more money, then all I hear is blah, blah, blah. When my esteemed colleague Dan Schreiner, editor of the Lake Orion Review, reported on the February 25th joint meeting, he wrote, quote, "The most commonly uttered phrase among all the council members seemed to be, 'I'm open to anything to save money.' Without the sheriff option in the mix, I'm afraid that's just a hollow statement. Whenever government can save taxpayer money by contracting for a service instead of utilizing in-house staff with all their burdensome legacy costs and liabilities, then by all means it should be done without hesitation. That's how real money is saved. Employees are always the biggest expense when you add up things like wages, fringe benefits, uniforms, training, and equipment. Some village people don't want to switch to county because they believe their local departments provide better service. Well, that's just hogwash. The Sheriff's Department brings a top-notch level of professionalism and expertise, not to mention resources and manpower that cannot be matched by any small department. Some village people fear losing local control. Again, hogwash. The Sheriff's Department will provide whatever level of services and staffing a community wants or needs. Sheriff's contracts are tailor-made. They're not one size fits all. And if a deputy or substation commander isn't a good fit for a particular community, one call to Pontiac and they can easily be replaced. Some people fear not having local police and dispatch diminishes a community's identity. I don't for a second believe a community's identity is wrapped up in having police cars with the town's name on them or paying higher taxes for that privilege. Communities derive their identities from the people that live, work, play, and volunteer in them, not any government services or institutions. The villages of Leonard, Lakeville, Ortonville all have clearly defined identities, and they're policed by the Sheriff's Department. The same goes for popular cities like Clarkston and Rochester Hills. What's preventing Oxford and Lake Orion from seriously considering the Sheriff's Department is a combination of emotion, local prejudice, and a sentimental devotion to keeping something that's no longer economically feasible or practical. In the end, the real problem with these joint meetings is they're between two governments that are dinosaurs. Villages are just extra layers of governments within townships. At one point, they served a purpose, providing services that townships could not to densely populated areas. But now that townships can, and in many cases do, provide all of the same services, villages are completely unnecessary. They're relics collecting taxes. As far as I can see, all the Oxford and Lake Orion Village Councils are going to do is continue to pat each other on the back and tiptoe around the tar pits. Well, that's all the news that fits in the Oxford Leader this week. Join me again next week for Follow the Leader.
President Roosevelt signed the Bill of Rights.
I've always appreciated the American Legion's
My gratitude to the American Legion.
Thank you all to the American Legion.
We have millions of veterans that are members of our organization. Thank you.
The American Legion, we serve America and its veterans. We pledge ourselves to our veterans, our youth, a strong national defense, and Americanism. These four pillars shape our work and what we do for America. There is power in our numbers. We're the largest organization of wartime veterans in the nation. We are 2.5 million members strong, men and women from every state in the nation and around the world. No other veterans organization wields this kind of power. We work relentlessly within our four pillars of service, and we succeed. The American Legion takes care of our fellow veterans and their families. We maintain close ties with Congress and the leaders in Washington, D.C. They respect us. They listen to us. We sponsor research and press for medical care and benefits for all veterans and active duty service members, whether they are members of the American Legion or not.
President Roosevelt signs G.I. Joe's Bill of Rights.
You've heard of the GI Bill of Rights, one of the most important pieces of social legislation of the 20th century. It was written and passed largely through the efforts of the American Legion. We were instrumental in the formation of what is now the Department of Veterans Affairs to make sure our veterans get the care and benefits they are promised and deserve. The young people of our nation are our future. They benefit from exceptional programs and generous scholarships that only the American Legion offers. We provide athletic programs like American Legion Junior Shooting Sports, Legion Baseball, and educational and civics programs like the Oratorical Scholarship Contest, and Boys State and Boys Nation.
As Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black stated, the quality of justice that Americans receive should not depend upon the amount of money they have.
We promote citizenship and an appreciation of government. We have all been directly involved in our nation's defense as wartime veterans. We know what policies, tools, and manpower our military needs to protect this great country. We fight to get these things done.
We're all very grateful to have the American Legion on point.
We take our case all the way to the top in Washington, D.C. to ensure that America is prepared for any threat. We are patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. These pillars represent not just what we do, but who we are. We're here to serve our fellow veterans, their families, and all of America. We are here for them. We are here for you. The American Legion asks you to join us in our mission. If you share our vision and commitment to America, visit our website at legion.org or your nearest American Legion post today.
Hi there, I'm CJ Carnacchio, editor of the Oxford Leader, and every week I'll be bringing you the news straight from the Oxford Leader's pages here on Oxford Community Television. The Leader's been around since 1898, but we're always open to finding new ways to reach our readers and people in the community. So every week I'll be reading news and commentary straight from the pages of the Oxford Leader, featured right here.
Proud to be a producer here at Oxford Community Television.
Action. What do you do at OCTV?
I do science in the news and auto talk.
Politicians!
I'm sorry, I didn't say the right things.
What do I do? I'm a jack of all trades.
Actually, I almost got to play a dead body. You made more money if you played a dead body.
I love working here. I graduated from Bell and Howell.
I went to school for it.
Team player here.
Hi, Kelly.
Dave.
And I bring all the shows that you watch together.
In the business for 40 years. I've been a production manager, I've been a program manager, I've been a general manager.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Wham! Wham! I'm a big part of the Addison Living Show.
OCTV has some of the most imaginative people working here.
You can take a story and turn it into something visual.
I'm constantly an individual who wants to learn things.
I do this because we are your voice.
Oh, I love to do music stuff here with OCTV.
I love enthusiasm. I love people who enjoy their job.
He can do that.
Anything about broadcasting, I just really loved it.
We want you.
I am.
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 I am OCTV.
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 I am OCTV.